Yep, it's happened again. Another tragedy in the white-on-white crime genocide that dare not speak its own name. We heard a ton about allegations of teacher misconduct in Atlanta, mostly related to students' grading, but as we all know, the white media loves to obsess over the smallest allegation of wrongdoing by a black person, so as to not have to talk about the enormous real crimes happening in the white community. Take, for example, the case of Eric Babbitt. He was a homosexual teacher who lived with his life partner, Matthew Deo, in Minnesota. They were found dead last month in Washington state, and the working motive is that one of their students who accused the men of sexually assaulting him was only the tip of the iceberg. There's not much known on the background of these two, but like all child molesters, they made it a point to take up a profession that would keep them in constant contact with those they targeted. And it won't surprise you to learn that the white media doesn't seem all that concerned about them. And this is the same white media who's been on a nonstop jihad regarding Nate Parker, and he was found innocent of any wrongdoing. When the killers are white, there's never much interest in them by the white media, but we do know that the neighbors describe the two as a quiet couple. That's the first warning sign right there. Babbitt taught several different grades in elementary school, but the white media blows this off, innocently dismissing it as common. Well, it was also common for Catholic priests to be moved from parish to parish too. Anyone want to claim that there was something innocent about that? August 14th, 2016 was when things started coming to light. That was the date a 16-year-old came forward accusing Babbitt and Deo of sexually abusing him. Babbitt would offer to mentor boys at the school and used this as his lure to get close to them. On August 17th, Eric Babbitt was placed on paid administrative leave because why not? Court documents detail that Babbitt and Deo invited the child to a concert in Minneapolis, but when the boy got to the hotel, they got him high on marijuana and drunk on alcohol. Afterwards, they assaulted him. Babbitt would post pictures of himself both nude and masturbating on Tumblr and invited the 16-year-old and one of his friends to follow his Tumblr profile. They even created private online accounts so they could exchange indecent photos of themselves. Another boy who accused the couple of abusing him said that they invited him to their home, promising that there was a surprise in the bathroom. All he found was a tablet with a porn flick playing on it. They then had the boy to take a shower and encouraged him to masturbate in front of them. One of the boy's parents took him to the police and filed a criminal complaint. On Tuesday, August 16th, police executed a warrant to search Babbitt and Deo's home. During the search, police found a hidden camera concealed inside a bathroom clock. Babbitt and Deo made a quick stop by the home of Deo's brother, where he gave them a shotgun, allegedly because they wanted to go camping and needed to protect themselves from bears. The two child molesters then fled the state, ending their run in Lopez Island in Washington. Around 8:30 p.m. on August 17th, witnesses reported hearing gunshots. On Thursday, August 18th, a kayaker came upon the bodies of the two molesters. It's believed that Deo first shot Babbitt to death and then himself. Police in San Juan County say that the two molesters left an in-depth suicide note, but they have not given the contents of that note to the public. Now, the obvious is that this is white-on-white crime in all kinds of ways. I think we can safely assume that the teenage victims are white because of the lengths the white media is going to protect their identities, and because of the fact Minneapolis is one of the whitest and most racist enclaves in America. Had the alleged victims been black, the white media would have at the least made sure to publicize their parents, because the white media has a vested interest in pushing the narrative that black children are hypersexual while white children are not. And it's interesting that the white authorities are not asking any other victims to come forward. When the perpetrators are white, the priority is to bury the case as soon as possible. Had these two child molesters been black, however, the white media's racial witch hunt would be on. The white media would have been scouring the internet, public records, and any other sources of information to find out any and all black men that the molesters might have associated with. It wouldn't matter if it was only one time or daily. If you were a black man associated with a black child molester, you were going to be a suspect, and the white media wouldn't stop until they found you and exposed you. Some of you may think that with two white child molesters dead that the issue ought to end here, but I am a student of white criminality. I know that when you see one of them, there's a ton that you don't know about. And there's no reasonable basis to stop investigating how widespread the child molestation here may be. We all know it's a fact that virtually all child molesters were themselves molested as children. Why is not one white media outlet asking any questions about the Babbitt family, particularly the father, Dana Babbitt? Because you won't be surprised to learn that Eric Babbitt's father was himself a teacher. Not only that, he was the principal at South St. Paul High School at the same time that his son was a student there. Dana Babbitt then went on to become superintendent for the South St. Paul School District, the same school system Eric Babbitt worked for. Eric Babbitt, it should be noted, was hired by the district in 2002. His father was named school superintendent for South St. Paul the very next year, where he remained until his retirement in 2007. According to reports, Eric Babbitt had not been disciplined by the school district previously. Gee, I wonder why. I suppose after 14 years of not being a pedophile, he just woke up one morning and started trying to seduce children. This degeneracy starts in the home. There's no way that none of his family knew about it. Molesters don't come about spontaneously. They spend years, if not decades, engaging in this behavior. It's not that nobody knows. It's that nobody wants to know, and the victims are too ashamed to say. The illusion of white as normal is so precious in this society, you can't even take common sense steps to protect the young. It's okay to racially profile for drugs in New York, except if you want to look for speedballs or meth in the pockets of white guys on Wall Street. But when it comes to looking at child rape in America, racial profiling is out the door. You want to know why the dominant society fights so hard against laws that would punish powdered cocaine, crystal meth, child rape, or hate crimes? It's because to do so would directly punish white life, that is to say, the white lifestyle. It would be to criminalize being white. And as I keep telling you, the laws and those who claim to uphold them are not there to punish white offenders, they are there to punish you. The same way Eric Babbitt would ridiculously wear bow ties and corny-looking sweaters in his laughable attempts to project normalcy, so the dominant society is also engaging in a racial charade, dressing themselves up in the trappings of normality in order to conceal their bestial behavior, pointing the finger at minimal, if not altogether imaginary criminals in the black community so that we never have to focus on theirs. Meanwhile, the children, their white children, are being violated by other white people with impunity. Whole generations of suspect individuals are running the schools, and instead of educating and protecting the young, the focus is on driving black students to prison and the rest of the students to the bedroom. You don't see this type of rampant behavior anywhere else, certainly not to this degree. But outside of these European-dominated spheres, it's no surprise. We certainly don't see it happening with the frequency that it does in European-dominated culture. This is white-on-white crime of the lowest sort. One would hope that at least one white media person would find the moral courage to finally broach the subject. But so far, not even one has. Instead, they try to hide behind racially neutral language when it comes to white-on-white crime. When white people commit crimes, it's never white-on-white, it's just crime. Irish gangs kill one another in South Boston, it's not white-on-white crime, just crime. Russians kill one another in Brighton Beach, and it's not white-on-white crime, it's just crime. White motorcycle thugs kill each other in Texas, it's not white-on-white crime, it's just crime. Italians in New York, not white-on-white, just crime. When discussing white criminality, race is forbidden to be mentioned. This is how you know it's propaganda. And to claim the problem is more widespread in the black community is at best a gross exaggeration and at worst racist bile. We don't know how bad the white-on-white crime problem is in America because the white media won't talk about it, and neither do the white police or white politicians or white public in general. White-on-white crime is the most normal part of their culture, so normal that it doesn't even merit discussion. When white people say investigation, that means cover-up. When they say justice system, that means white judicial fiat. Justice will always take a backseat to white privilege, and for them, the highest privilege is to commit the most heinous of crimes and then not be punished. Ask child rapist Rob Lowe how much of a problem raping a child on video was for him. And this is the reason why it won't be long at all before I have to do the white media's job for them and report to you yet another case in the self-inflicted genocide of white-on-white crime.